When I wake up in the morning, I got sunshine on my mind. My body gets to moving, and I've got a little time.
Hello, welcome to season 2 of the Morning Wood Show. I know you all are excited to have us back. We are back with your good wood, and we are so excited to have some extra people here with us.
Who also like wood.
Who also like good wood.
I'm kidding.
You already know who I am, but by the popular poll, you like when I say it. I am the legendary Jamal Maurice Bouvier.
And I'm Richie Scott. I hate that.
It's wonderful. It's season 2 and you're still not a legend.
And neither are you. But we are here with some iconic people, I should say. So let's get right into these introductions. We have here the beautiful Riley Knox.
Hi, everybody.
We also have here Mr. Corey George.
How you doing?
And Mr. Malcolm Jamal, who also goes by Malcolm, or you could just call him M. Whatever you want. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to tell you guys a little bit about what we've been doing in the break. We're going to learn a little bit more about these guys, and then we're going to get right into our topics. But first, I want to tell you that we are shooting here live at Lace. Now, this is the place to be if you want some good wings.
Yes.
Agreed?
The lemon pepper
Agreed?
wings, yes.
Who had the wing? I had the wing. So, and if you want some good shots, which I'm still waiting on a shot right now. But anyway,
that was a stab at somebody.
There's an assistant in the background. Also, this is the first time we've ever done a live show. Well, it's not really live, but we have an audience, so that's kind of weird. But we're going to go ahead and keep it moving with our good old introductions here. Riley, tell us a little bit about what's been going on in your world this summer and what you got coming up.
This summer, I've been up to a lot. I was one of the first drag queens to sell out the Howard Theater. That was the biggest thing that I did this summer. We just had a show last Wednesday, and it was absolutely amazing. For those of you that don't know, I am DC's own Beyonce. That's what I do.
And
for
my own Beyonce as well.
Hey, your baby mama.
And my baby mama.
Yes. And I day before yesterday, performed for the mayor. I was on the hit TV show R&B Divas impersonating Monifa.
So
Yes, you were there. I've had a lot going on. I have a calendar coming out at the end of the year, a book next year, just so much going on, just performing all around town at Nellie's in town, 10:30 p.m. at at Town on Fridays and Saturdays, and at Nellie's on Sunday mornings at 10:30 also. So it's been a lot going on.
That's good wood.
And no sleep. And no good wood. Don't have time.
Moving right along.
Corey, what about you? You just moved to the DC area again.
I just moved back at the beginning of August, so most of you know me as the author of my first book, which is Sit or Stand, working on the second book, which is called Still Standing. But it's going to be a full multimedia experience. I'm building an Android application in support of it. I'm also starting my new radio show, which is going to be called In the Living Room, where I'm going to be exploring lives of extraordinary people, which is one thing that I'm just happy about, because I don't have to talk about me anymore. Outside of that, just being a dad to 2 wonderful boys, and just getting my feet wet back in the back in the area. So that's pretty much it for me.
Two kids.
2 kids.
2 boys.
2 little boys.
That's exciting.
2 batteries, that's what I call them.
2 batteries.
2 batteries.
All right, so Mr. Malcolm Jamal, Mr. Malcolm, Mr. M. Tell us what's been going on.
Well, for the last couple months, I've been taking a break from filming Conversations with Malcolm, which is my inspirational web show. But I will be starting to film that back again soon. I also have some speaking engagements come up. All of them are inspirational, and you can find those dates on www.themjharris.com.
And if Malcolm looks familiar, he was also on our relationship show last season. So he was so wonderful, we had to have him come back and be a part of this.
Happy to be back.
Good.
Yes. Malcolm always gives me good little gems of wisdom every time I talk to him, so it's really good to have him back. Actually, everybody here has kind of touched me personally, so I'm really excited to be
I have not touched you.
I touch you all the time.
Thank you. Anyway, so look, we talked about that. So let's move right into something that I guess everybody here hopefully took part in, and that was the debate. If you watched it, did you see it? What'd you think?
You know, I'm not a big political person. I do vote, and this time around I did watch some of the debate just so I could have something to talk about. Just so I can have something to talk about. And I will say that President Obama and the Romney debate, it kind of bothered me a little bit because I just felt like there were times when the president should have gotten real Chicago. He should have come straight out like, you a lying.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted him to do that. You know, I understand it's the first debate. He has to build up to it. I was just annoyed by some of the stuff that
It's a little bit too nice.
And that moderator.
Yeah.
What nursing home did he come from?
Yeah, with the debate, I thought it was good. I think that the president let Mitt Romney do a lot of talking, which opened the opportunity for Mitt Romney to say a lot of things that were untrue.
To look like a fool, yeah.
Right,
Exactly.
you know, because really and truly what we think about after a debate is what's said in the newspaper when they're saying what was true and what was false.
Yeah, the
Mitt
fact check.
Romney- Exactly, the fact check.
Yeah.
And by letting Mitt Romney take the lead, that opened the opportunity for him to say a lot of things that weren't true. So it may have looked like a bad performance, but I think it worked out in the president's favor. So to let Mitt hang himself.
Right. I can understand that, you know, after the fact.
That was my thought, but
I just think that, you know, I just think that the moderator just needed 3 balls, not just 2. Because I'm thinking, can you reel in Mitt? But at the same time, you know, it felt like a trap for him because, as you said, I was listening, and of course, I agree. You know, I was waiting on the press, you know, to show up.
Right,
You know, the
right.
press. But I still have this thing where I feel like he will never be allowed to be the angry black man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a good thing.
That's the thing
Right.
that I think that we're all stuck on is that we want him to be like us, but he's not just our president. Sad to say. So, but going back to Mitt, I was talking. I was stuck on Mitt because I'm like, this isn't true. This isn't true.
Right,
This isn't
right.
true. And he was rude because he was interrupting just to say more untruths. So I'm like, that person is untrue and is stupid.
Right.
But Joe Biden cleaned it up the next week. It
You
was
know,
but 7 days.
you
Joe
know,
Biden did
it was almost like a Broadway show. The next one, I was like, wow, really?
Right.
Really?
I did enjoy the Biden debate, but you know, I was kind of upset how they're trying to play the Libya thing. It was like, you know, well, why don't you know if it was a protest or not? I mean, it's Libya. It's not hard if it was a protest or it wasn't a protest.
Right.
You know, the intelligence gave them what they had or whatever. So they're trying to, you know, to spin that to saying they're hiding something, but you know, that's not far-fetched.
I think all in all, as long as whether you like his performance or not, I think that it got people excited because they got some people watching and got scared because they realized that that Obama didn't perform well, so that kind of got them invigorated. So now they're going to make sure they go out to vote because they're worried about him not getting votes. So one way or the other, I think it's going to motivate people to do what's most important, which is the vote.
So I think that's a really, really good transition right there. Just go vote. If you watch the debates, whatever you thought about it, vote.
Right.
All right? All right, so from President Obama to Mitt Romney, why don't we go from Mariah to Nikki? Let's talk about that. We had 2 big battles in the past actually 3 big battles in the past couple of weeks, but I think the one that has everybody talking right now is Nikki and Mariah. So I gotta get y'all opinions on this subject. What do y'all think?
Important battle.
Whatever. That's important.
Wow.
Y'all can't tell me y'all weren't all over top of the story.
I wasn't. I think it's fake. I think it's just drummed
You think
up
it's
for
fake?
ratings. I think it's
You
very
do
fake.
really?
I do too.
Yeah,
But
I
see,
think it's fake.
but
Why do you think it's fake?
Because American Idol needs
It felt
ratings.
real to me when I saw the video.
Because everything feels real to you.
But think about it. But see, think about it. In the setting of where it was, who would have taped it? There's no contestants in.
Listen,
in
somebody
that
could be
area.
right over there
Was it
filming us
somebody's cell
now.
phone?
You
Yeah.
want to argue?
Yeah.
You want, I mean,
Yes, true, true. But on that set, unless you're live and they're auditioning, they only let one person in there.
Right.
So it has to be someone on that team
Right.
that did it, and then someone said, "Okay, let me just put this out."
okay, so listen. So you mean to tell me if me and Malcolm got into it right now, I'm cursing him out, this, that, and the third, and I push his head back into that wall, one of them ain't gonna catch it
Somebody's
on
gonna
camera
be
back there.
videoing it.
Somebody gonna catch it on camera. Because you know we like alterations.
Yeah, true. True, but who else is in there but the crew, though? Think about logically. But the formula is that, but they open the doors. It's only that person that's auditioning that's going in there. You know, the family ain't in there. The grandmother with wings ain't in there. It's just,
But the technicians are in there.
yeah, but they're the crew. They're part of that show.
You
At the
think they
end
ain't
of the
got
day,
no matter what.
it's for ratings. And if you don't believe that, then I have something I'd like to tell you. Unicorn.
So wait, you're with me. You think it's real?
I think it's real.
I think it's real too.
I thought it was real.
I don't think.
But then the next day,
I think it's real.
But then the next day, they're buddies. It's like if it really.
Well, they were
I
buddies
think they
before
were
because they
buddies.
did a song before together.
Yeah,
She
they
was
did
in
do a
there.
song.
Either way, I'm not going to watch Idol. So.
But you know what? The sad part of
I
it.
think the Idol. Well,
It's
I
like-
think the show is more about the judges now than the contestants. That's why I
Yeah,
don't care.
that's what I was gonna say.
You know,
The
because
show
back
started
then-
off being about the contestants, and now it's all about
It's all
the
about
judges,
who are the judges.
and like what new judge we're gonna have, what the and so nobody's gonna be watching to see the talent. They're gonna be watching just to see if Nikki and Mariah are getting along.
And what she's going to wear, and what she's going to wear, and what color hair.
What color hair she's gonna wear, and how big of a diva Mariah's gonna be. But even if it is, whether it's real or not, I feel sort of like Nikki, is sort of new, and Mariah is a legend. They're both known for being very demanding. I know someone that's worked with Nikki before, and says she's very demanding, but Mariah kind of has the right. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she's a legend, but apparently she started it and called Nikki the B word, and
Okay, well-
Nikki's not the kind to take you sitting down and all that stuff. But I really think that it might be
But I
real.
also think that this also plays into the fact that if you look at a lot of female entertainers and music, at least, they're always pitting someone against each other.
Yeah.
So this is not going to help that.
Women
Exactly.
don't get
Exactly.
along. Yeah.
I mean, it was Brandy and Monica, it was Aaliyah and somebody else, and then so it's always these drummed up things, and so now this is going to play into that stereotype.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, and people love seeing the cat fight of women like not getting along.
The cat fight of black women.
Black women not getting along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see Taylor Swift and Kelly Clarkson go at it. That's just me.
Kelly's got that. She
Listen,
shares
I
my
love
birthday.
it. I'm gonna watch. I want them to fight. I want them to fight every day. I want to see it all.
I'm not watching
We're not.
because the voice is
You don't
better.
watch TV. What are you talking about?
But the voice is better,
The Voice
and it's got bigger ratings too.
The
So
voice is better.
The Voice is
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
talent is
Tell me
yeah,
about
the
it.
talent
because
is
there were
better.
talented people on The Voice.
Are there?
Yeah.
and there's no age limit, right?
The
There's
thing
no
is, let me
age,
tell you
shape,
what
or
I don't like
size.
about The Voice. These are people who are already singers. They're already either background singers or people who have had a shot in the spotlight.
Some
So
of
them.
you're
But they-
redoing this whole thing.
But they didn't get a fair chance based on certain things.
What do you mean they didn't get a fair chance?
They didn't get a fair chance. Maybe someone
do you mean
didn't
they
look
didn't
the
get a fair
part, or someone just didn't fit into that package.
Yeah.
So they didn't get a fair chance. That's
I
why
agree.
their chairs are turned
It's
around.
about
All
The
they hear
Voice.
Is The Voice.
Right.
Let's move
American
on.
Idol is
I'm
about
not
a
buying
package.
it. I'm not buying it. Okay, so listen. I'm not arguing with y'all about this anymore because I walk off like Nikki.
And speaking of celebrity couples or celebrity battles and debates, apparently Chris Brown and Rihanna have made up and are on their way back to being a couple. Personally, I love it. I know a lot of people will disagree with me, but it's just something about it that I love. I think it's a true romance.
I stopped caring. After a while, I stopped caring because people are going to do what they want to do.
Exactly.
I just think that if they did get back together, the only message I'm thinking is, okay, this was the incident and this was the conclusion. What was the middle ground? And there were so many little things that showed how much they didn't grow. For example, Chris Brown's anger really has not really stopped. And Rihanna's being, overseas in nightclubs drunk as a skunk. So
I'm drunk here in D.C.
true, but at the same time, I don't see the growth in the fact that this won't happen again. So if it happens again, it's going to be the little girl that cried wolf, and we told you so.
Exactly.
And see, I'm with you. I stopped caring. They exist purely for my entertainment, not for me to guide my life by.
Birthday cake
That's
only.
all.
Birthday cake
They're
only.
not my
That's
role
it.
models. They're my entertainment.
But, you're right. I think that we don't know the middle story. We don't know their lives. I think that at the end of the day, because they are only entertainers, I think that we should just recognize that the choices that were made and the choices, we can recognize that's something that we want to do in our lives and we can do the same things. But for me personally, I thought that when the incident happened, it was a terrible thing, and anytime someone is abused, I've never been a proponent of them going back, but you know, they're young and we've all made mistakes when we were young, so it is what it is.
Yeah, you know, like we don't know what really happened.
We don't.
You know we saw the pictures afterwards. We don't know what really happened.
No.
I just hope that it fosters conversations at home and in places where we wonder what happened, and
Exactly.
we can, we can guide those conversations into what is a healing process, if there is one, and how do you transition from going, from being apart for that reason to why are you back together? That's the question, is why?
Because truth be told, although they're not role models, there are a lot of young girls and young guys who are in relationships, who are buying their music, who are being hit. And so rather we want them to be role models a lot.
They are,
or
because
not.
their choice.
Exactly, by default, these are
of their
people that
career.
they're seeing. So hopefully it will foster conversations, between parents, brothers, sisters, whoever, to talk about, what happens when you're in that kind of situation, because it is a real life situation, even though these are fictitious personas
Right.
that are sort of playing them out.
I mean, I thought it was interesting. I don't know if you guys saw her on Rihanna on the Oprah,
Of course we do.
the Oprah interview. I thought that was very insightful into the mind of, someone who is in her position, who has been through something like that, and then what she's thinking. Because she's also not thinking about, not only herself, as she mentioned in the interview, she was also thinking about supporting him and what he's been through, and how no one was looking at the source of why he was the way he was.
And that is so true.
Right.
But to feed off of you, the fact is that you can see in her eyes that she still had love for him. So
Exactly.
so we've all been in positions where we probably ended a relationship for a valid reason. That doesn't mean that the love stopped at that day.
That's true.
That's part of the getting over process.
Right.
So you can look at yourself and say, wait a minute, I may have not been in that exact type of situation, but I've been in something where I was hurt, but the love was still as strong as as day one. And what do you do with that?
I guess the question is always, is love enough? But that is a common trait of people who've been abused, is that they tend to be very, very empathetic to the abuser. They talk about Stockholm syndrome, which is someone who's being held hostage and they become sympathetic to the person who's holding them hostage. And I think that it's not uncommon, or it's not indicative that a relationship is healthy or worth going back to just because the person who's abused still loves the person. That's very common. You got people who got both eyes been knocked out and they still love the person.
Both eyes.
Hey,
Got it. Got it like
extreme situation.
Yeah, extreme.
This conversation has gone way too
But you know what though? We take it back. Okay,
We're talking about something very deep.
But what's
though.
the difference?
It is deep. It's deep. But I feel sorry for karaoke. Chris Brown's girlfriend.
Oh,
What's her name? How do you pronounce it?
I like karaoke. That's the best I can do. She's gonna be karaoke because she shouldn't have been named whatever she should have.
I call her Kay.
Her name is Koresh.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know. That's what I think.
Okay.
This poor little innocent girl is getting the short end of the stick. I mean, her heart has to be like in pieces when you're looking at this girl on TV saying that she still loves your man.
Yeah.
And then your man tweets he still loves his old girl.
and then the
You know
video
who they-
saying
that
that
would
he
be
has
You know
another
what
flight.
though? You know who they all need is a Yandler. Fix
Oh.
my life.
Oh.
They need
Fix
to
my
call
life.
a thing a thing.
That's what they really need.
Get the pool.
And it's so good that you talked about Ayana. I am loving
I am
Ayana
too.
on the OWN network.
It is a good
I
show.
think that Oprah did a wonderful thing by partnering with her to pull her into some of the shows. I mean, that Fix My Life show, it fixes my life, and I'm just sitting there
Just
watching. I want to go on the show. I'm trying to think of something in my life that
And I
needs
found
to
a
be
bad topic,
fixed.
like, I'm hurt.
Because I'm so perfect. I just don't know what they can
Shut
fix
up.
about me.
No, but
I know you will.
So if you ever see me on there,
I saw you.
I had to make up something like this Nicki and Mariah thing.
But you think that in
So that I
hindsight,
go on the show.
in hindsight, if she was picked up by Oprah years ago, that she wouldn't have been in her full speed. I think that this was the
Exactly.
perfect time.
Timing
but,
is very
she had to go
important.
through everything
It
that she had
happens when
gone
it's
through
supposed to happen.
It's
to
so-
do this show.
It's so amazing that you talk about that because I'm reading her book. You suggested that I
Yes,
read
I
Peace
did.
from Broken Pieces.
Yes.
If you haven't read it, it will change
It is a
your
good book.
life. I'm
Peace
telling you.
from Broken
And she
Pieces.
talks about how at that time she wasn't ready.
Right.
And she tells you everything that was going on in her life that lets you know that behind all of this that she was doing for other people, she herself was
Wasn't ready.
not ready.
Right.
So she couldn't fix anybody's
But I
life.
love
'cause
the
she
show.
couldn't fix hers.
Because she couldn't fix her life.
Yeah, and see, when I watch it, it's almost like I want to do that with the work that I do. not exactly like her, but I love what she's doing because she's, she's real. She's honest. She's not trying to sit down with her glasses down to her nose and write stuff.
Right.
She's taking you back into yourself and say, look, I'm going to show you what you don't want to see.
Exactly.
I'm going to hold this mirror in front of you and let you see what I see, or the stuff that you choose not to see.
Exactly.
And she's fixing families, and she's not just fixing lives, she's fixing families.
Whole families, right?
I think what's great about her story and her coming back and having this great show is it is a lesson to all of us that no matter what mistakes you make, you can always come back and come back strong. I mean, you think about it. She got basically told by Oprah Winfrey herself goodbye. And some people feel like that's the end of the world.
Right.
Hit the mountaintop
It would
and
be
you
the
drop
end of
off
my
the
world.
edge. And then now she's back. So I mean, it's larger than life, but it is a great message to all of us.
It is.
Mistake is always about the lesson.
And do you think that this is the show that people are watching more, because of course OWN was this thing of, oh my God, no one's watching, because I know the first year OWN came out, I was like, who are these two white chicks in this show that they had?
Exactly. I was like, who
All
are
I
these
saw
people
was
on
Sweetie
this
Pies.
channel?
Yeah.
And I was so uninterested.
Or the color purple over and over and over and over again.
Right. And I'm happy.
I went on Wiz, walking
But
around.
I gotta say something though. I know somebody else who could benefit from Mr. Iyanla fixing their lives, and it's just my personal opinion, but it's the Houston family.
Oh my God.
Oh, Bobby Christine.
I gotta say that.
The whole family.
So you don't like the idea of the new show?
Absolutely not. I think it's rude. I mean, because first of all, you say that you all didn't want her to do Being Mrs. Bobby Brown, and now you all are going to do a show.
I wanted them to do Being Bobby Brown.
I'm talking about the
I love
family.
that show.
The family did not want her to do the show. They said they didn't want her to do the reality show. And now that she's passed, you're going to do your own show? Sissy's coming out with a CD. Girl, you haven't sung in years. BB Wine is coming out
Capitalizing
with a
on the
book.
daughter's death.
That's what you feel is capitalizing?
I feel like it is.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
absolutely.
And then now you're going to put her daughter and her godson relationship on blast, and it's gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah, I think so. I think the healing process is so different, for other people, but it's just too soon. Even for me, I'm like,
They're not healing, they're counting
and
money.
secondly, what is so interesting about those two? Like, what do I want to know that they aren't doing already on Twitter and on video? I don't know what I'm going to be in for, and I really am not looking forward to it. So I don't know what's going on.
I think the ratings are ultimately going to prove,
what?
prove if people are interested.
People don't really care about your general well-being.
I didn't have an opinion on the show. I just thought that, they did it for the reason everyone else does it, for income.
Yeah.
Assuming that I don't know, maybe they need the money. I'm trying to figure out some redeeming reason to do it.
I'm sure Pat Houston's gonna come out with a book,
I'm sure.
a Lifetime movie.
Oh, God. Too soon.
Because I just have this personal thing against Pat Houston. I'm sorry.
You feel like she was an enabler.
Because first of all,
She's an enabler.
you can't be as close to Whitney Houston and get on Oprah and say, I didn't see this coming. That is a lie.
That makes me think you're an enabler.
It bothers me to my core.
That's what I thought the same thing. It was like, how did you not know?
Exactly.
Well, first of all, let's
possible.
just say for the sake of argument, I passed. I passed.
You don't want to show
Let's
about
just
you.
say that.
Right.
And you knew I had my coke habit.
Okay.
Are you gonna talk about it on Oprah?
I'm not.
Because if you do, I will come back and haunt you.
No. If Oprah asks me, did I see this coming? I'm going to say yes.
No, and I'm coaching you now. You say no.
I'm going to say yes. That would be a lie.
Okay, so then I won't tell you about my coke habit.
Well, and for me personally,
So listen, we've talked about everything from the debates, Mariah and Nicki. Talked about relationships a little bit. We talked about, what else we talking about? Oh, the Houstons. Excuse my lack of enthusiasm for that. But I want to say a big thank you to you guys for joining us.
Yes,
You'll see more of them this season. A lot more of our commentary. This good wood. Hopefully you'll see a lot more of Lace as well. We want to say thank you to Lace for having us here. We also want to say make sure that you guys come check us out every first Friday of every month at Mova Lounge, where we do it big, happy hour style, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Come out, support, have some drinks, meet some new people, network, do everything you got to do, get wasted. Just come. Come out and support. We're going to have a good time. And look forward to more of these shows throughout the season. So with that being said, this is the Morning Wood Show. I am Richie Sky. This is...
I am the legendary DeMar Maurice Bouvier.
That is...
I'm Malcolm.
I'm Riley Knox.
And
I'm
this
Floyd
is...
George.
And we are saying...
Peace.
When I wake up in the morning, I got sunshine on my mind. My body gets to moving, and I've got a little time. 20 extra minutes, but 5 is all I need. We could do the quick and dirty and catch some more Z's. Ooh, I got that fire, got that fever in my bones. Ooh, I got that feeling, my hands just start to roam. Wake up with that woody and I can't control my hands. Thinking alt it out and I grab that old